Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video where I finally got my hands on one of these Healthy Glow Sunkissed powders from Chanel for their summer collection. I have been very excited seeing all the pictures and videos of these beautiful little palettes. So if you want to see swatches, a demo and all of my thoughts on this latest drop from Chanel, then keep watching. So these are the Healthy Glow Sunkissed powders from Chanel. They are available in 5 different shades or varieties and they will set you back £75 or $95 and they are limited edition. They feature a trio of Healthy Glow powders, a bronzer, blush and highlighter that can be worn individually or blended together to warm up the complexion and bring out the colour in your cheeks. So I chose the medium coral shade. This was the one that spoke to me the most, being a coral lover. I love everything coral, peachy, orange, especially in spring and summertime. And this one just looked like overall it would work the best for my skin tone. I'd be able to use all 3 products in here throughout the whole year. And so that was the one that I went for. Some of the others that I was really interested in, I knew I wouldn't be able to use the highlighter, and then the light coral shade felt like it was going to be too light for my skin tone, particularly as we move into the summer months. But I was tempted to pick that one up. And I was also tempted by the medium rose gold as well. That one does feature a much deeper highlighter, so I was really on the fence as to whether to pick that one up or not. I wasn't sure. I may well go back for it again. So here she is, and oof, isn't it delightful? Absolutely beautiful. What you may be able to notice is that for some reason my pan in my product is skew-whiff. It's wonky, and I don't know about you, but it's horrifying. So I'm holding this as straight as humanly possible. Can you see, does that show on camera? The product itself is a little misaligned. It's a little wonky, a little skew-whiff, and it's really hurting my eyes. I don't know if anyone else will be able to tell. Like I said, I'm kind of holding this as straight as possible and it's a little off. And it's really hurting my eyes. It's very distressing for me and I feel like that's going to really annoy me forever. So I don't know, I have sort of swatched this. I don't know if it would be possible for me to slightly twist it in the pan. It's not moving loose and freely in there, so I wouldn't want to try, but that, I know that's a really stupid thing to mention, but it's going to really irritate me. So I just pray that everybody else's is nice and straight and perfectly aligned, because for £75, I don't want it to be wonky. I want it to be perfect. The next thing I notice is that this does have a rather intense perfume fragrance, very noticeable. As soon as you open it, you can smell the heavy fragrance. So if fragrance is like a deal breaker for you, this is rather heavily fragranced as per typical Chanel fragrance. Perfumey scent, it's in there. The powders feel very silky when swatching them. And as you can see, they have the most beautifully smooth luminosity. This highlighter, very barely there glow, no sparkle, no shimmer, just a very understated luminosity. And the bronzer and blush, just the barest hint of luminous finish there. No sparkle, no shimmer, very understated glow. So these look beautiful. So I'm quite excited for this. It seems like on paper and swatch wise, these are going to be right up my street and I'm very excited to jump into the demo. So let's do that. Get this barnet out the way so you can see what's going on. So as per the brand, you could just swirl your brush in there and get, you know, bronze, blush and highlight all in one. For me, I'm going to use the products individually because that's just how I would use them. And I want to see how easy it is to get the brush in there. You do get a lot of product in this, that the wonkiness, it's really gonna drive me round the bend. But you get 15 grams of product in here, which is a lot of product. It's gonna last you a very long time. It is oversized, which I like. Obviously, the downside to that is it's as far as I can see, a pretty even split among the 3 products, and obviously we use a lot more bronzer than we do highlighter typically. So if you are going to use these products individually, you could expect to run out of the bronzer a lot more quickly than you will the highlighter. So that's just something to be aware of. For me, in the way that I use my products and with the intention to use these separately, it would have made more sense if we had increased the size of the bronzer pan and decreased the size of the highlighter pan. But if you are going to swirl it together every time, then obviously it makes more sense that everything is even and you can do that more easily. So that's just horses for courses. So starting off with my Sonia G Face Pro brush, I'm going to dip that in there, and you can see it does overspill into the other pans, but this is a larger bronzer brush. So if you use a smaller one, you may not have that issue. The other thing you can do is pinch your brush when you have a palette like this, and then it's going to fit much more easily in there without sort of risking picking up some of the blush. Now this is a warm bronzer, but it's not orangey, it's not overly warm, it's actually a really nice, more sort of neutral towards warm undertone. Lovely bronzer, actually, very soft, not too pigmented, so it's kind of hard to control. And a really lovely, subtle bit of luminosity to that finish. No sparkle or shimmer, much less luminous than the RMS bronzers or the Armani bronzers. This is a very sort of subtle luminosity, which I love, very beautiful. I did use a matte foundation today, the Louboutin foundation, so any sort of luminosity on my cheek area is coming from this palette as opposed to the foundation. It's really nice and buildable, this bronzer. It started off very understated, very subtle on me, but I have managed to build it to a really nice bronzy effect. Perfect, love that. Obviously you could use this on the eyes as well, if that's your jam. So next up, I'm diving into this highlighter, and the highlighter brush that I'm using, it's just a Sonia G Fan Pro, fits in there like an absolute dream, no problem whatsoever, because it is a smaller brush. And this highlighter is so subtle. I love this. It's perfect for my skin tone. It's not going to leave a cast. And it is beautifully smooth and luminous and understated, actually building this up a little bit, which is unheard of for me when it comes to highlighter, because I do prefer just more luminosity than I do like a metallic highlight, but this is perfectly luminous for me, right up my street. And you could absolutely see how you could blend and mix this with the bronzer, and it's not going to be, you know, too much or look like highlighter all over your cheeks, because the highlighter is really understated. Gorgeous. And now using my Sonia G Classic Cheek, I'm going to dip into that blush. Again, no problems fitting my brush in that pan, and quite a sort of scary looking blush for me. It looks very vibrant, but actually a lot softer on the cheeks, and it blends. I mean, you can see like it's picking up quite a lot on the brush there, but it blends so easily that it's actually not as kind of scary and daunting and bright and vibrant as it might appear in the pan. I'm actually going back for more, which I didn't think I would be doing. Such a beautiful coral blush. Again, there's no shimmer or sparkle. There's just that little bit of life to the finish, a little bit of luminosity. This is like right up my street. Again, a pretty buildable blush formula. Actually started off sort of barely there, but absolutely can be built to a really pretty, vibrant blush. I definitely think as the blush is so buildable, it will easily work for you if you have a tan skin tone. If you have a tanned, deeper skin tone, then the bronzer and the highlight may not work so well for you, but I think the blush would. So you could maybe swirl all three together if you were more inclined towards the coral colour story. So here are the finished cheeks. I can see me getting a lot of use out of this, absolutely. I just love the overall effect. I love that it's just fuss free, build up as much as you like, very pretty and soft, no shimmer or sparkle. It is a very smooth overall effect, really smooth, gentle luminosity. Even the highlighter, very, very understated luminosity. So pretty, so easygoing and everyday friendly, everyday appropriate. You know, if you're scared of blush, I feel like it looks kind of intimidating in the pan, but on the cheeks, blends like a dream to a very understated, beautiful, subtle effect. Gorgeous. So I can definitely see another one of these palettes in my future. Absolutely. I feel myself already hankering after that medium rose gold. Looks so beautiful. I was a little afraid of that palette because the highlighter looks quite a bit deeper than the one in the medium coral, but it didn't really occur to me to just swirl everything together and use it that way. And I think that that would be how I could use that palette for me, and maybe that might be something that I would go back and look at picking another one up, because I love this one. It's so pretty and I can really see myself getting a lot of use out of it as well. You don't have to use it individually, you know, you can just swirl all three together and it's going to be a really quick one and done bronze, black, bit of healthy colour and luminosity to the skin. So you could really use that on days when you're just running a bit behind and you just want a quick, easy solution. It's very beautiful and the overall effect on the cheeks is just exactly what I love. I think it's so pretty and I'm really happy with it. I don't know if I thought I would love this as much as I do, but I really do. It's so beautiful. You get a lot of product, so that helps with the sting of that very large price point. What I will say is if you have a lot of Chanel bronzers and blushes, and they do bring out bronzers and blushes like hotcakes, then you don't especially need this. It's not going to necessarily add anything new to your collection. If you have lots of bronzers, blushes and highlighters, you know, you can get a similar effect from what you've got using those individual products. So don't fall out over yourself. Obviously this is a luxury item and it has a very high price tag, so don't feel like you must run out and get it and it's going to be especially different to everything that you own. This is just the latest in a very long line of limited edition Chanel blush, bronzer, highlighter offerings. So, you know, only you can decide really if this is going to be especially different or special to your collection that you already own, and whether it's worth picking up and paying that very hefty price point for. For me, I think it's beautiful. It's very, very pretty and I'm really happy with how everything worked and the formulas and the overall effect that it gave, but it isn't extremely different to the products that we already have from Chanel. The bronzer formula is the Healthy Glow powder that we have seen and loved before. The highlighter, you know, is fairly similar to the highlighters that they release intermittently at least once or twice a year. And the blushes, I mean, this one particularly is a coral blush. Of course we have coral blushes, and of course we have coral blushes from Chanel as well. So again, it's not a necessity, it's a nice to have, but it's not necessarily a must have or something wildly different and special in comparison to what you probably already have in your collection. But personally, I can certainly see myself getting quite a bit of use out of it, and I'm really happy with how everything works and how everything looks on my skin. I think it's super beautiful and just easygoing for summer. So there you have it. Those are all of my thoughts on this new Chanel Healthy Glow Sunkissed powder. Thank you so much for joining me today. I would love to see you in the next video. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye.